Hello YouTube, and welcome again to my channel. It's been a little while since I've done a video, but after watching part of February 2017 JW Broadcasting, I figured I would make some points. Now, the part of the video I'm going to discuss is just going to be the experience of the girl that was raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but then didn't make the truth her own, if you will, did not become one of Jehovah's Witnesses, left to have a career of modeling, and then eventually came back and found much happiness and fulfillment as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Now, I in no way, shape, or form doubt her story. I have no reason to. I'm not even going to attempt to do that. What I am going to do, though, is to once again tell my own story, because unlike her, or like her rather, I was raised as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Unlike her, I did what they call making the truth your own, and I fully subjected myself, and I did everything that I could to be pleasing to Jehovah as I was taught by the Watchtower organization. I was baptized at the age of 11. I auxiliary pioneered multiple times when I was in school. I pioneered for a year. I served as a ministerial servant. I served as an elder. I served as a secretary of the body of elders. I served as a coordinator of the body of elders. I pretty much always had assignments at conventions and assemblies. I served in the accounts department, both at conventions and assemblies. And if you know anything about the way Jehovah's Witnesses work, they don't trust everybody touching their money. You have to be considered to be extremely trustworthy and spiritually strong if they allow you to touch their money, especially at a district convention. I worked on the RBC, which is now defunct, for a number of years. I did unassigned territory a number of times. I did everything that I could, that I thought I should, to be pleasing to Jehovah. I always put Jehovah first in all of my decisions that I made in my entire life. So, did that bring me great joy and happiness? The reality was, I was never really happy as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. I was never sure why, because you were supposed to have joy in service, and you would hear all these stories about these people that were so happy. And I thought to myself, here I am working a lot harder for Jehovah than most of the people that I've been raised with, but yet I'm really not that happy. I've been told my entire life that if I put Jehovah first, he will bless me, and this never happened. So for those of you who have seen my channel, my story is out there as to why I finally woke up and why I finally allowed myself to logically assess the religion that is Jehovah's Witnesses. And my discontinuing to go to meetings had nothing to do with my leaving Jehovah. I did not stop going to meetings because I decided that I wanted to go live a lifestyle that was displeasing to God. Rather, the reason why I stopped going is because I realized that I was not being taught the truth. I realized that I was being lied to by an organization, and that the individuals that were in that organization were under the influence of said organization, and there was nothing to do with honesty or truth or even serving God about the organization. Now, as an interesting case in point, in this sister's experience, she said that she went back to Bethel, or she went to Bethel when she was at New York and got a tour, and somebody showed her a picture of a theoretical resurrection scene. And the question was asked of her, do you know why those people are on the balcony? They're awaiting the resurrection of their dead loved ones, was the answer. So this apparently is the thing that touched this girl's heart. We are not told if she had someone close to her die. She did not divulge that. She at that point broke down and cried and said that she wanted to be there to welcome back her dead loved ones. So the Watchtower claims they are God's organization. They are the only true religion, and if you want to have a relationship with Jehovah, you have to do so as one of Jehovah's Witnesses. Did any of those things come into consideration when this girl made her decision to once again become a Jehovah's Witness? No, it did not. There was a powerful emotional driver that she suddenly felt as if being one of Jehovah's Witnesses would enable her to see her dead loved ones, whoever they might be, in the resurrection, and she wanted to be there to do it. There's no logic involved, there's no scriptural proof, there's nothing that demonstrates that the Watchtower even teaches the truth in that subject. And if you look at the mechanisms that are used to get people to join high control groups or cults, they're typically emotional type mechanisms such as that. Logic and reason did not in any way, shape, or form factor into her decision. And the very fact that the organization put out this video whereby they utilized a situation that is totally devoid of any substantial evidence that there's a good reason to be one of Jehovah's Witnesses, but rather there's an emotionally charged reason, demonstrates that they don't care about the truth. Not the truth copyright, which is what they call themselves, but the real truth, what is actually true. They could not care less about that. And this is just proof. Nothing logical brought her back. So the reason I brought up my story again is because my experience was 100% opposite to hers. I found there to be misery when I was in the organization, and I was at a much higher level than she could possibly get to because, as we all know, sisters are not allowed to serve in positions of responsibility. They don't get to see those inner workings. Besides this, I am quite aware of the fact that Jehovah's Witnesses are instructed to look as if they are happy even when they are not. The higher up you get in the organization, the more you're told to do this. Pioneers are trained in pioneer school that you have to look joyful, because if you don't, you won't encourage other people to pioneer. They're reminded of that at their meetings with the elders and when the circuit overseer comes around. Elders and ministerial servants are told that they should be joyful at the kingdom ministry schools and in their meetings with the circuit overseers. And in the literature, it's a command from the branch to those who have positions of privileges, shall we say, that they have to look as if they're happy even if they in reality are not. And I know that because I spent a lot of time doing that. But I also at the time was really good at fooling myself, thinking that thinking that serving Jehovah was making me happy. So I always had this conflict in my mind of why I was really so unhappy when what I was doing should be making me so happy. And you can only fool yourself for so long, unless you're really deeply indoctrinated and things just don't happen to transpire that wake you up, then you might be able to fool yourself for your entire life. So this was an interesting experience to me, and it was set in the context of the brother giving the presentation, talking about how we don't have any rules, and then proceeding to demonstrate just how many rules Jehovah's Witnesses are under. So that's just my input. I don't make many videos anymore because the teachings of Jehovah's Witnesses, when you break it down, are really very simple. There's not very many things they teach, and exposing them does not take a lot of time. And once you've done it, you can do it again and again and again, but it gets old, it gets repetitive. And when I was in Jehovah's Witnesses, we had the Theocratic Ministry School. They had this lesson on repetition for emphasis. That's because Jehovah's Witnesses repeat themselves multiple times. It's part of the way they indoctrinate you. The lie told often enough becomes truth. I believe that was a propaganda minister of the Nazi regime, I think Goebbels, that said that. And we all know how honest and trustworthy that regime was. So anyways, this is just another one of the tools in the Watchtower bag of propaganda tactics. Repetition for emphasis. So I feel that I don't need to repeat myself anymore, and besides that, there are always new people coming on YouTube making videos. And I thoroughly encourage that. The more of us to get out there and tell our story and add our voice to the conversation, the more it's going to be heard. So, thank you for watching.